How's it going, Iowa fans? Here we go. We are back. We are back in the driver's seat again with the win today. Thank you. Thank you, Illinois, for beating Minnesota. It is definitely a great time to be in the driver's seat, so to speak. A lot of people are thinking, what the hell's going on right now? Iowa shouldn't be in this position, yada yada yada, bullshit. Let me tell you right now, it's okay to be back in the driver's seat again. Be happy. Don't worry about this shit. It is what it is. We're going to do a couple drinks of the game right off the bat because guess what? The way this was won, it was won in Iowa style. Not good. It was awful. Embrace it. Embrace the ugly. The cup is lit up, friends. It is. Enjoy it. We're back in the saddle again, baby, as Aerosmith would like to say. Let's start out with drinks of the game. It just is what it is because this game was fucking ugly as shit. Ostrenga! Mr. Ostrenga. Drink of the game scored Iowa's only touchdown. Drink of the game. Jay Higgins. As his dad likes to say, hawk. Drink of the game. That guy is just fucking everywhere. Good job. Keep it up. Jay Higgins, drink of the game. Coop! Say it. You know you love to. Does it all the time. Drink of the game. Mr. Cooper DeJean. Drink of the game. Toy Taylor. Sorry, that's a terrible accent, but it is what it is. Tory Taylor, the best punter, not only in the Big Ten, but in the nation. You can't convince me otherwise. Drink of the game. Tory Taylor. Let's keep it on special teams. Let's do it. Mr. Stevens, you made the adjustment after you shanked that one wide right just a little bit, hit off the upright. Kick the game winner. Drew Stevens, drink of the game. And we got one more drink of the game, folks. One more. The whole Iowa defense, Mr. Phil Parker and George Barnett. Yeah. Goat Wallace, as they like to say in other podcasts. Drink of the game to the Hawkeye defense. You guys played awesome today. Couldn't have done it without you. Drink of the game, the whole Iowa defense, from the D-line to the back safeties. You guys fucking rocked it today. This game is unbelievably defensive. Well, offensive to the defensive, depending on which way you look. Anyway, drink of the game. Iowa defense had a great game. I don't know how many sacks. I'm not even going to count because I was too fucking worried about drinking at the time. Iowa's defense did great, though. No turnovers, but they stopped. They made a huge stop in the third quarter, going into the fourth quarter. I want to say fourth quarter with the big stop there at the goal line. Drink of the game, Phil Parker and his defense. Salute. So, first of all, we're going to talk about Iowa's talk of the week, so to speak, with Brian Ferentz being fired midweek by interim AD Beth Getz, which, if you look at the whole thing, thank you. Just get it over with. We need this for the recruits. I know Kirk was very perturbed, so to speak, about it. He was not happy. He likes to do things at the end of the year. Trust me, this had to be done now. And it had to be done now to make sure that we get the recruits we want to get. I'm telling you right now, if you're a quarterback or a wide receiver or an offensive lineman, you know what? If you're anything outside of tight end right now, going to Iowa, thinking about going to Iowa, right now you're thinking, I'm not going to Iowa because they fucking suck offensively. And I agree wholeheartedly on that. Wholeheartedly. They're fucking terrible. Is it because of the players they have? Yeah, probably. You could say that. Is it more to do with Brian Ferentz and the way he calls games? Yes. Yes, absolutely. Does it have something to do with Kirk Ferentz? Yes, absolutely. Because guess what? Kirk Ferentz has been calling the same offense for the last 22 years. It doesn't matter who's that offensive coordinator. The only difference between Ken O'Keefe and Brian Ferentz, between him and Greg Davis, is that it's the same offense, just called a different way. You know it. I know it. The whole fucking Big Ten knows it. The only difference is Brian Ferentz is the worst out of all those play callers. And on top of that, we made him fucking QB quarterback or QB fucking coach. Are you kidding me? I understand there are some guys who can do that, but Brian Ferentz is not one of them. We've proven that. And I know John Boudmeyer is somebody that they've had to come in and help with that. And he even said, hey, we need Deacon Hill. Well, you know what? Fuck John Boudmeyer. You know, I'm telling you that right now. He might be a good coach. I don't know. I'm not in that facility, but guess what? Deacon Hill's proven to be a fucking risk at best. That's putting it nicely. I wanted to say something else, but guess what? I'm not going to down a college kid. That kid has a hell of an arm. He's just not accurate. He has no touch on the ball. He has a lot of things to work on. Can he get better? Absolutely. I think he can. But he's not a college D1 starter right now. Is he going to be a D1 starter down the road? In my opinion, absolutely fucking not. I don't want to down the kid at all. I think the kid has potential, but, you know, if you just have a big arm, you don't have a whole lot. So, before we get into the possible OC changes next year and a hype about that, let's get into the game. Let's do a little bit of looking into the game. So, first quarter, fucking snooze fest. Let's just call it what it is. Iowa gets the ball to start the game. They punt the ball. Northwestern gets the ball, 3 and out. They punt. Iowa gets the ball back. Relatively good field goal or field position, and they kind of fumble it, and then they get in the field goal range. 50-yard, 3-yard field goal. Missed it. Wide right. Shanked it right off the fucking goalpost. I'm not going to blame Drew Stevens. He's a sophomore. He probably never had to deal with a win like that before, not even when he was young. Lesson learned the first play of the game or first quarter of the game. You know, I'm gonna give Drew Stevens on this, and mostly because Iowa won at the end. I'm gonna give him a fucking mulligan. Northwestern in the first quarter has a bad snap. You know, their quarterback claps and the fucking center snaps it. I'm feeling pretty fucking good right now. Fucking, you know, they snapped the ball there at what, second and what, 5, something like that. Now they're 3rd and 25. You know, you just saw if you have Peacock and you saw the game, you're looking at the quarterback and his whole fucking, oh shit, fucking moment happened right there because he wasn't even looking at the goddamn ball. Iowa doesn't pounce on it, but they get Northwestern to be 3rd and 25. They stop them. Northwestern punts. Like I said, first quarter, big fucking snooze fest outside of the Iowa trying to kick a field goal and they miss it. Second quarter, Iowa's in range again. They were in field goal range for sure. And Deacon Hill throws a terrible fucking pass. This ball, I don't know if it's on the receiver. I'm not sure it's on Deacon Hill, but as things go, we're going to put it on the quarterback on this one. That should have been a back shoulder throw just because, hear me out on this, because Nico Reggini is not going to go forward on that. He's more likely to go to his back shoulder on that. And that's where the ball should have been thrown. Deacon Hill, anticipating he was going forward. Yeah, it could go either way on that. Either way, it's an INT in the end zone. Cannot happen, especially against Northwestern. I have something against Northwestern since they injured Ricky Stanzi. I can't remember when that was, but they injured Ricky Stanzi back then. I want to say 2009, something like that. So I hate Northwestern. I hate Pat Fitzgerald. I hate the guy they have now. I just hate Northwestern in general, and I still want to know why Pat Fitzgerald had a sideline pass during the Penn State-Iowa game. If any of you have that information for me, hit me up. You know where I'm at. So Hill throws an INT. Northwestern ends up punting. Cooper DeJean goes into offense in the second quarter. At this time, you think Brian Ferentz might have fucking said, fuck it. Fuck it. We got this. We're going to put Cooper in. 2 fucking plays. On those 2 plays, Cooper gets the ball once, gets 8 yards. The next play, Cooper stays in the game. They hand the ball off to LaShawn Williams or LeShawn Williams, depending if you're listening to Paul Burmeister or not. They get 6. They get 14 plays in 2 fucking plays. 14 yards in 2 plays. And we never see Cooper out there again. Come on, Brian. Come on, Brian. Even if you use him as a decoy, you should be throwing Cooper DeJean out there more often than that. And I get it. You don't want to get your best player on offense or defense injured, but use him as a fucking decoy. Make that coach think on the defensive side, hey, their best players going out there. Come on. Every fucking Iowa player is thinking this. Every fucking Iowa fan's thinking this. I bet you 3/4 of the fucking Iowa defense is saying this. Come on. Cooper's got to be out there more than one fucking time. And for more than 2 plays, period. In the end, Iowa ends up punting. Fucking awful. It's a punt fest. It's a snooze fest. You got to be. I'm biting every fucking fingernail I have. I want Iowa to win. I am the Hawkeye Homer, for fuck's sakes. I predicted a 21-10 score. Yeah, I know. I was feeling pretty fucking good. Yeah, fucking terrible. Get it? Got it. Good. 3-0 for Northwestern again. Northwestern's not good. Last week was a fucking fluke. Shit, even the fucking sun shines on a cat's ass every now and then. Iowa gets the ball out. 3-0. Touchback. Not good. One of the few times I'm going to say Tory Taylor just uses his leg way too much. Tory Taylor's a great punter. Great punter. And any NFL team's going to be lucky to have him. I think Tory Taylor is really good. Again, 3-out for Northwestern. Not a lot going on. Iowa 3-0, 3-out. And then they start this fucking bullshit of calling timeout. You call timeout before the half. They call timeout. Ferentz bitches, he calls timeout about 41 seconds. They don't get it. It goes down to 21. And Kirk Ferentz is talking to not one referee, but 3 referees. Why does it take 3 fucking referees to figure out when he called timeout, A? And B, after you get that 41, 20 seconds back and you get Northwestern to throw an incomplete pass and you get the ball back, you run one fucking play, a run play of all things, to fucking kneel it. What are we doing? Why waste the fucking time? You have 41 seconds. I don't care how bad your offense is. Fucking try. As an Iowa fan, I'm yelling at my TV screen. What the fuck are you doing, Kirk? Why did you call timeout for that shit? I know you're hoping for Cooper to get a fucking run back, but guess what? You didn't. You still had an opportunity to get into field goal range before the half, and all you did was take a fucking kneel down. You want to know what I would have done at that time? This is what I would have done at that time. Okay? I would have tried something up the seam. You have Ostrenga. Ostrenga's not seasoned. He's not seasoned like All. He's not seasoned like Lachey. I get it. But guess what? Ostrenga today has shown that he can catch the ball and he can fucking run. And he's a tough son of a bitch because he took some good hits today. That's why I gave Ostrenga a fucking drink of the game. Not because he got just because he had the touchdown, but even a tough SOB. Throw it up the fucking seam. See what he gets. See what he gets. At the very least. At the very least. Throw it over the middle of Vine. Something has to go up the seam, up the middle. Iowa does not do that. It's not in their DNA. They got to start doing that. It's been effective in the past. Don't believe me? Just check back to 2012 when Ricky Stanzi threw it to Marvin McNutt for a touchdown at the end of the game. Just saying. It's been done before. So Iowa takes a kneel. They go into halftime 0-0. They're going to kick the ball off to Northwestern. Northwestern at this time hasn't shown any sign of life going into fucking, as far as offenses, defense. They've been marched on, to say the least, and they've done nothing to show that they can stop Iowa outside of the fucking 20. I mean, this is not just having a feel for the game on an offensive side. It's just the whole fucking thing is broken. I don't get it. I know I'm not I know I'm an armchair quarterback. I get it. Or an armchair coach. I get it. But this is what I would do. I would take a fucking chance to score points before the half. You have 41 fucking seconds. You have 36 seconds, 29 seconds, whatever. Take a chance. Score. I get it. You can throw an interception. I get it because Hill's not the smartest in the head. If you don't trust Hill, then why is Hill in there? Put in Joey Labus. Isn't that fucking some shit? So, going into halftime, I get it. So we go into halftime. It's not great. But Iowa is winning this game, so to speak, in a lot of aspects that where I see they are winning. First downs, Iowa had 9, Northwestern had 2. Good. Total yards, Iowa had 81, Northwestern 29. How do you not take a chance? You had time, you had a timeout. How do you not figure it out? Passing yards. This is not bad. It's not great, but it's not bad. Hill was 6 of 10 for 25 yards in the first half. Uncle Rico showed some life there, okay? Got it. Northwestern, 4 for 8 for 15 yards. We are winning the fucking passing yards. Get excited. I would. I was. Fuck. Rushing yards. Iowa had 56. Northwestern had 15. This is definitely a defensive game. But for fuck's sakes, take advantage. Iowa has not been able to take advantage. The first 3 possessions, they had a chance to score points. What they do, they missed a field goal, they threw an INT, and they took a penalty to punt the ball, which blows my fucking mind. Whatever. I'm not the coach. Penalties, Iowa was 1 for 10. Not bad. I'll take that. 110 holding call. Northwestern 5 of 51. They had a couple or first 3 passes that Deacon Hill had, Uncle Rico, ended up in pass interference. Turnovers, Rico had 1 interception. He also fumbled the ball. I just can't. I just don't understand why Labus isn't in the game, especially after he fumbled the ball. Rico has no fucking pocket presence at all. Hill has got to get that shit out of his head. Look at this. Time of possession. You guys know how I love time of possession. Iowa 19-22, Northwestern 10-38. I am loving the time of possession. The only thing that's not coming out of this right now is the points. I think Iowa should have had more points in this. And then granted, Hill threw that interception, and then Iowa kind of, I think they were in range, but they're on that cusp, half and half, and then they took themselves out of it by taking the penalty, whatever. Going on to the second half, Northwestern gets the ball. They go 3 now. Iowa blocks the fucking punt. I kind of had an inkling they were going to block the punt because every time Northwestern punted the ball, Iowa had somebody in there unless they were doing a punt safe or they were going back to block. Iowa was pretty nasty getting in there close during the first half. They ended up getting a block, get the ball just outside the red zone there. And a couple things that I liked seeing today, that's something that Brian Ferentz has gone away from but should stay in, at least through the rest of the year, is that naked bootleg to the tight end. That is a Iowa bread and butter play. And the more you do that, the more it keeps the defense honest. We haven't been doing that all year. We've seen it very little, even with All and Lachey in there. It hasn't been run very well. And that's even, All Lachey, K. McNamara. Deacon Hill actually plays that pretty well. Another thing that I saw that was kind of a positive that Deacon Hill does very well is that draw play. There's actually 2 draw plays that I thought looked very good. Hill sold the shit out of it, did very well. It didn't get very many yards. Didn't get very many yards because the offensive line looked fucking dog shit during those times. Um, Got to clean that up. I know the offensive line's better than what it is right now. More coaching than I think anything right now. So, punt is blocked. Iowa runs a naked bootleg. Ostranga gets the fucking touchdown. That is the game at that point. We have Northwestern by the fucking balls because our defense is doing great. Hold the phone. Hold the phone. Northwestern goes through a series of punts. Iowa goes through a series of punts. We go into the fourth quarter. Northwestern's driving. We are up 7-0. We stuff Northwestern at the goal line. You think Iowa has this fucker in the bag. We have Northwestern by the fucking balls right now. Au contraire. Au contraire. Iowa gets the ball. They run the ball a few times. At this point, Iowa doesn't run to get the first down. They run to get out of the fucking zone. And I understand that. But that whole series looked like we were just trying to get a little more room for Tory Taylor, which made no fucking sense at all. Again, Brian Ferentz doesn't have a feel for the game. At the same time, is Kirk fucking things up? I don't know. I don't give a shit. I'm just mad that we didn't go for the first down or try for it, or at least not adequately enough. We got to figure some shit out. Okay? Iowa punts the ball. Northwestern has great field position. They drive. They had 16 plays. 16 plays within, I don't know, 65 yards. That's not good. I mean, that's not good from an offensive standpoint, but it's not good from a defensive standpoint either. 16 plays and 65 yards. Give me a break. Northwestern gets a passing TD. Jamari Harris was on the coverage on that. It's hard for a defensive back to cover a tight end. No matter how the tight end is going to win that more times not than not, just because he's bigger than the cornerback. It's just the way it is. 7-7, Iowa in the fourth quarter. Iowa gets the ball back. They drive down the field. And they drive down the field pretty damn well. I was thinking Iowa needed more of a touchdown. They needed a field goal, but I knew a field goal could do it because our defense has been doing great all game. All game. So, Stevens makes the field goal. Iowa goes up 10-7. Northwestern gets the ball back. Northwestern gets a couple first down or two. I can't remember. I was too fucking worried about them getting into field goal range. Iowa does not allow it. They had a holding call, brings it back 10 yards. Iowa brings it back. Iowa ends up winning 10-7. Ugly win against a bad team. A bad team that's been on the rise. So, Iowa kind of stifles Northwestern in their rise through the Big Ten. Iowa's in the driver's seat right now in the Big Ten West. Embrace it. Embrace it and enjoy it. You have to. How do you not? As a Hawkeye fan, I tell you what, as a Hawkeye fan, I'd rather be embarrassed in the Big Ten championship game than watching another team get embarrassed in the Big Ten championship game, because that's what's going to happen. I'd rather be there than not be there at all. So, end of the game stats. Iowa has 14 first downs to Northwestern's 12. Iowa's 4-12 on third down. That's fucking awful, but just as awful as 6-17 for Northwestern. Iowa's didn't go for a fourth quarter or a fourth down play at all. Northwestern was 50%, 1-2. Total yards. Again, Iowa gets beat on this. Jesus Christ. 119 total yards for Iowa, 170 for Northwestern. Did you expect anything else? Yes, I did actually. I'm a fucking fool, but I expected more than 119 yards. That's fucking awful. Northwestern 170. Passing yards. Neither team got to a fucking 100 yards. I expected that out of Northwestern because I think they're dog shit. Iowa, I expected a little more. Come on. Was it 10 of 16, 65 yards? Good news, Hawk fans. 3 games prior to this, he only completed 22. Today he completed 10. That's an improvement. Fuck you. That's terrible. Put in Joey Labus. Northwestern 12 of 20, 81 yards. Hill threw an INT, threw it in the end zone. Brian Ferentz got on Deacon. Should have. Who gives a shit? Brian's fired. Rush yards. Iowa had 104. Need to have more than that, especially against a Northwestern team like this. What we need to do is stop running the ball up the fucking A gap on either side. Any team that plays Iowa is expecting an A gap. And then after watching the game today, anytime we run outside the guards, not the tackles, outside the guards, we get more yards. Isn't that some bullshit? If I can fucking see that, and I saw it 2 weeks ago when I was at the Minnesota game, Brian Ferentz should be able to see it. He doesn't. He doesn't have a fucking inkling. I know he watches film, but I'm not even sure he pays attention to the film. What the fuck do I know? Penalties. Iowa still very good. 3 of 30. That ain't bad. 3 holding calls. Block in the back. Whatever. 7 for 71. You beat them there. Turnovers. Iowa lost the turnover battle. They were +1 on that one. Time of possession. You know how I love time of possession. Iowa 30. 18. Northwestern 24. 42. Keep that defense fresh. That defense is elite, but it needs its fucking break. Coop is the best in the nation. Can't tell me he isn't. Everybody else is saying he is too. Jay Higgins, he's going to be when he goes to the NFL, he's going to be in the top 3 rounds. I bet money on it. Jamari Harris is not great. He's not awful. He's decent in coverage for what he's doing. Castro, very good. He's very good at the cash. He can play weak side linebacker or safety. Guy's fast. He's going to be okay. Iowa has some guys on the defensive line. I can't wait to get Noah Shannon back. If that's going to be the case, we were all told he'd be back today. Was not back today. Yair Black did very good today. One of the candidates for drink of the game did not get it. He did have a sack. So did Hergenberg. A lot of things going on. So we heard the Beth Getz. Beth Getz said that Brian Ferentz will not be back in any capacity next year. Me personally, I am glad this is happening to a point. I thought, given the circumstances, Cade got injured, Eric All got injured, Lachey got injured. You know, you're talking about 3 of your best offensive guys. I really thought somehow or another Kirk would finagle Brian Ferentz into another year of being an offensive coordinator. At the very least, I thought that Brian would be demoted to line coach or tight end coach. Granted, more line coach than tight end coach, just because Abdul Hodge has been doing very good as a tight end coach. Look at Estrella today. He did very good, and he's been on the up and up for sure. So I got a couple offensive coordinator picks that I have that I think are more realistic. I got one that's no chance at all, but I would love to see, and 2 that I do not want. So I got 6 offensive coordinators I'm going to name right now, just to see, personal preference. 2 guys that I think that have a chance to be the next offensive coordinator in 2024 for the Hawkeyes. Tim Polasek, he's the offensive coordinator for Wyoming. He has Iowa ties. He was the Iowa offensive line coach from 2017 to 2020. He went to Wyoming. He's the OC right now. And, just looking at his past couple of games, he's very Iowa-like. Runs similar offense to Iowa, more shotgun than Iowa does. But he likes the power run. He likes to pass the ball. He is the offensive coordinator and QB coach right now at Wyoming. Think Iowa offense with a better play caller. Maybe a little more shotgun. Definitely okay with this hire. I think he's a better coach than Brian. Definitely a better QB coach. He's been he's coached every position on the offense prior to becoming the offensive coordinator at Wyoming. Um, Everything but QB. Now he's the QB coach at Wyoming. And if you look at their quarterback, he's just like, he makes some iffy decisions, but he's kind of a young guy. So definitely would be okay with Tim Polasek coming back to Iowa City, being the offensive coordinator. It'd be an easy transition for Kirk right now. I think he is the headliner right now. The question is, can we get him back to Iowa City? Would he want to come back from Wyoming? I know him and Coach Bohm, I think it is, in Wyoming are pretty tight. I would think he'd get more money in Iowa City. More to come on that. The other one that could be another likely candidate or somebody that's looking for a step up right now is Jim Dabrowski, from the QB coach from Kansas. The reason I think this is another offensive coordinator that's probable is because that would be a step up from what he's doing now. The OC Kansas right now is going to stay there. I don't see him making that jump to the Big Ten. I just think that for recruiting purposes and what he has going on right now, he'd be better off as the OC, and the QB coach would be a step up for him and a likely one. Let's be honest here. If Kirk's going to be leaving or his contract runs out in 2029, that gives him, 5 years? I just don't see it. I think Polasek and Zabrowski's definitely, top two candidates there as probable uh, offensive coordinators for next year. One wild card I'm going to send out there is Abdul Hodge. Abdul Hodge has done good things as the Iowa tight ends coach. I know you're thinking he's more of a defensive guy, but he's really been an offensive guy since coaching college football. So I'm gonna put him as a wild card right now. Somebody that's in house, somebody that's has an ability to call plays. I think Abdul Hodge would be okay. So they're my top three guys as guys, you know, one guy having Iowa ties, the other one's not, and another guy. I think that Iowa next offensive coordinator is going to have Iowa ties. That's the way Kirk runs things. Outside of Greg Davis, if you look at every coordinator from special teams to defense, he always has somebody with Iowa ties outside of Greg Davis. And Greg Davis, I think there was a lot of clashing there because Greg Davis probably ran the wide receiver screen more than anybody should ever run that wide receiver screen. Just because at that time, Iowa did not have the athletic guys that they needed for that. Now, if you told me he's going to if we had Greg Davis now and say, hey, Brown's going to run the wide receiver screen or Seth Brown, I'd be all for it. But we should not be running Reggie Eaney with a wide receiver screen. And I would even say Deontay Vines. No deal for me. Another couple other top picks that have no chance. Let's go. Sean Lewis. He just got demoted at Colorado. This is a dream pick for me. I would love to have Sean Lewis come to Iowa City and run his offense. That guy is just, I can't say enough. I don't know what fucking Coach Prime's thinking. Demoting him for Pat Shurmur. I mean, come on. Pat Shurmur, no. Sorry, not going to happen. The other one is Ryan Grube, for the offensive coordinator from Washington, has Iowa ties from Northwestern Iowa. He's not coming back. We're not going to pay him enough. B, he doesn't run the type of offense that we want him to run. And C, why in the fuck would you come back to Iowa? That guy is going to be a head coaching candidate probably in a couple of years, if not next year. And Washington's offense is light years ahead of fucking Iowa. So, no, not a chance in hell. Two guys I do not want Iowa to give the offensive coordinator position to. John Budmeyer, assistant coach for Iowa. He's more or less the assistant QB coach. More than likely, in my opinion, he's given Brian Ferentz pointers on how the QB should be. I don't want that fucking train wreck. No fucking way. Nope. I know he's one of the headliners that people have said. Again, Iowa ties, part of the Iowa program. I want nothing to do with John Budmeyer. If he wants to become the QB coach, excellent. I don't give a shit. Don't call plays. The other guy is George Barnett, the offensive line coach for Iowa. No fucking way. I've seen the way your offensive line blocks. It's fucking dog shit. Not good. Sorry, George. No bueno. No good. Third, and to say the least, Iowa has an opportunity next year to hire somebody that could be great. There's two problems with hiring somebody great. They have to have big balls. Because let's face it, Kirk Ferentz is not a lame duck coach, but he's not going to be here much longer. The longevity is not there. Me personally, I don't think Ferentz is going to be here more than 2 or 3 years. And personally, I would say 2 at the most. As a young offensive coordinator, why would you want to come to Iowa unless you run the same type of offense that Iowa's running currently? Why would you want to come to Iowa? It makes no sense at all. Because after 2 years, you're going to be going somewhere else. And unless you've done great things at Iowa, you're probably going to take a position less than offensive coordinator. I hate saying that. I do. I like that Kirk's coming back next year, and I only like Kirk coming back next year because me personally, I'm not ready to lose a bunch of games. I was not going to go back to the Big Ten championship game, in my opinion, for a while until Kirk Ferentz is gone. But Kirk's going to keep them competitive. They're going to give them a chance to go to the Big Ten championship game. They're going to pull out some wins that you would never think they would. It is what it is. And you got to think that way. But I was not getting a young up-and-comer. And I hope I'm wrong. I really do. But there's an opportunity here. Beth Getz has 2 years to figure out who's the next up-and-comer. I think Kirk retires in the next 2 years. I think Beth Getz has the opportunity to hire somebody good. I think Beth Getz is going to be the next Iowa AD. And they need somebody like Beth Getz who has the kahunas or balls or whatever, what have you, to say, hey, I'm in charge. I make the decisions. And it's shit or get off the pot. I think Beth Getz is that type of AD, and we need her to be that type of AD. Gary Barta did not have, it was a gutless fucking AD. He was. Kirk made the calls, and Gary said, yes, sir. There's a new sheriff in town. Her name's Beth Getz. Give her the fucking AD job. Take away the interim. She has an opportunity to make a great hire with her next coach. I think Kirk is going to be here the next 2 years. Now is the time to start doing research. Now is the time to get ahead of the game. You had that opportunity. It's time to take it. With that being said, we are in the driver's seat in the Big Ten West for one more time. We got this. The Hawkeye fans, you might not want to be embarrassed in the Big Ten Championship. Who gives a flying fuck? You're there, you have a chance. So let's grab the fucking bull by the horns and go and fucking win out. Prove everybody wrong. Brian, keep Cooper in there on fucking offense. Call plays like Madden instead of Tecmo Bowl. The list goes on. I am Eric Pasker. I am the Hawkeye Homer. Like and subscribe. Go Hawks. The glass is lit up. We'll see you next week, Hawk fans. On Iowa. Go Hawks.